Record from my side on Instagram. I mean on Zoom. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Sunday morning to us over here in the Americas. For the rest of the world, good afternoon, good evening, and good early morning to those of you who may be watching from Singapore, Asia, Australia, depending on where you are in the world. I have the incredible, distinct honor and pleasure of interviewing somebody that I've known for about 19 years now. And I started this industry in the exact same company where he was a top money earner. And I was 25 years old. As a matter of fact, it was February the 11th of the year 2000. I joined the industry of multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it. And at 25 years old, I was afraid to say the word network marketing. I was afraid to say the word multi-level marketing because I come from the insurance world. I was a licensed insurance agent. I am still today. But they taught me to run from things like this. They wanted to keep me captive under their umbrella so I wouldn't see things like this. And not knowing that the relationship would develop to what it is today, myself and the one and only CEO and founder of Wimbrey, Mr. Holton Buggs. This is 20 years for me, brother. February the 11th is 20 years.
Wow. You know what? That's awesome. Congratulations on 20 years. You know, time goes extremely fast. And I remember hearing about this little young phenom. They were saying this young guy who got into the business and made $100,000 in his first, 90 days or something like that, 120 grand, something like that. And I remember saying, I got to meet this guy. Who is this guy? And it was probably towards the end of the opportunity that we had a chance to meet up. But man, fast forwarding now, you just never know where relationships, your lives go when you have those moments. And so I'm grateful for it. Congratulations. I'm proud to be a part of your entire network marketing history.
You have been.
I was present.
You have been. You've actually been, and I'm going to jump right into the interview, but this is kind of piggybacking on where we're headed. I want people to understand, this is going to be raw. It's going to be uncut. It's unrehearsed. We spoke about an hour ago, but we really didn't talk that much about what we're going to do on this call. We started talking about our families and all this other stuff. But, Happy New Year. Let's get this party started. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want to do, Holton Buggs. The respect that you have in this industry is in a league of its own. And I don't use those kind of words lightly. When I'm complimenting somebody, I'm a motivational speaker. I can make you look good by complimenting your shoes. I'll find something on somebody that I like so I can tell the truth. So you're not going to get fluff from me. You're not going to get, hey, you did an amazing job if you did not. So when I say you are in a league of your own, that's what you say about Elvis Presley. That's what you say about Tina Turner. That's what you say about Beyonce. That's what you say Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. You say this about individuals that have set a category in this space on our planet that puts you in a league of your own. So I'm not saying that with an exaggeration. Holton Buggs, you are in a league of your own as a distributor. You are not in a league of your own as an owner, a CEO yet. But you are in a league of your own as a field network marketer. I believe you made over $100 million in commissions with one company in 10 years, 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I don't know anybody that has done that. And for me, that puts you in a league of your own. So I want to jump into this. I'm going to hit you, as a CEO. But I'm also going to hit you as a distributor and an owner. And I want to start off by saying this. We've had conversations for the last 10 years. We normally are holidays together. We've never tried to recruit each other. As a matter of fact, you have mentored me in companies that I was in. I was in one company for 10 years, for 12 years. And you have mentored me in that company. As a matter of fact, you have helped me in a way where I wanted to come in and bring the sledgehammer. And you would say, Johnny, no, you can't disrespect the owners of the company like that. You can't talk to them like that. You've got to go with them, with respect. And you helped me. You had no financial incentive to help me, but you did. We have hung out together around the world with our families. And more so than anything else, not only did we never try to recruit each other, we jokingly said things like this. I don't drink coffee. You would say
I don't do travel.
I don't do travel. So that's how our conversations went. Like, as much as I love you, you never would have had the power to recruit me to do coffee. Not because I don't believe in it. It's just not me. I'm the fun guy. I'm the lifestyle guy. That's me. And then Holton would come back and say, man, I'll never do travel. So this is your first question. How did you go from insulting me? I mean, jokingly, and then this is for everybody. We have people who are watching this that are top earners in other companies. So this is not to entice anybody to join iBoomerang or leave your company. Just let me put that out like that. Holton, and I want to get into that too. Why do you respect other companies so much and you want them to succeed with you? And you know, you're not just putting yourself in a category. So how did you go from this person that jokingly for 10 years, I don't do travel?
Well, first of all, I wasn't joking. I
know you weren't.
It was no joke at all about me not doing travel. And stop that. You know, who wouldn't want to watch the world? I was watching. I woke up this morning. I was watching this particular episode on a guy and forgot his name here, but anyway, he was. I'll pull it up in a second because it's very important about what I'm saying. But I was watching this program this morning about a gentleman who's built some of the most incredible resorts around the entire world. I think his name is Bill Belinsky or something like that. If you look up the owner who built the Four Seasons Hotel in Thailand, you'll see him. He's built some extraordinary places. They were interviewing him about a new resort that he built in Cambodia, and he's an extremist. And so you've got to zip line into the lobby. And he says that everybody who's come to the hotel has actually zip lined. It's one of the world's longest zip lines in the world. And everybody except one person has zip lined into the lobby of the hotel. And he's got this book that was called Escapism. If you ever look it up, it's called Escapism. And you'll see the book, and it's a combination of all the beautiful hotels he's built over the world, designed over 110 hotels over the world. So travel is something I love to do. And so, but just because you love to do something doesn't mean it needs to be your business. You know, I love to eat. I'm not going into a restaurant business anymore. I did it one time. Okay. You know, I love, you know, furnishings, but I actually owned a furniture store before, but I'll never do it again. You know, I love Christmas trees, but I'm not going into the Christmas tree business. So sometimes people have this mentality, because I love to do something is why I need to make a business out of it. And that's not everybody, but that was just my thought process. So here's the reason why I didn't like travel as a business. There was no money in it.
What do you mean by that?
If you think back.
I know what you mean, but explain to people what you mean by that.
Okay. So in network marketing, if we think about it right now, Johnny, if we look at your entire career and you made some incredible money in the travel industry, okay? Just like other friends, I did travel as a network marketing company. This call is not about Johnny's previous company. That's not what this is about. This is just what we're talking about. When you think about it, can you think of one travel commission that you earned?
No, it's illegal. They can't pay me a travel commission.
Okay, so can you think of anybody in your organization who can say, this is how much money I made from the actual product that I sold?
The membership base, yes. The booking of travel, no.
Right. Okay, so the membership is not the travel, that's access. But when a person takes a trip, all right, so it's no different than me and my coffee business. I sign up to be a member, I pay whatever the kit is. But if nobody buys the product, or when people buy the product, if nobody has made any money, why? My thought process was, I'm here for residual income. I'm here to build a legacy. I'm not sure that my kids or my grandchildren are going to even want to recruit and build teams the way that I do. So if the income stops with recruiting, I'm done. There is no legacy. So what my thought process was is, let me put myself in a business that will give me the legacy, and then let me go do the things that I want to do. So I love to travel. I've got a lot of miles. We've traveled, we go some amazing places, but I wasn't going to make that my business because there was no real residual in it. I hated coffee. I had never had one drink of coffee in my life. Well, I don't say in my life, but I never remember a drink of coffee that I'd ever had. But why did I do it? I'm a businessman. I'm not an emotional person. When somebody shows up, presents something to me, and I look like I can get rich emotionally, and I just jump in and join, I didn't join coffee because of that. I looked around and I said, can the average person do this? Yes. Does everybody want this product? Yes. Is it simple? Yes. Do they have to change their habits? No. Okay, here's what I'm doing. I was faced at that time, if you remember, we're just being, like you said, uncut. I was looking at a company called Monavie at the time. I had a gentleman who came to me and says, listen, they want to talk to you. They want to give you XYZ. That was when one of our buddies that we know of who went there and they gave him $1 million. I was looking at a company called Zuri at that time. The owners wanted to fly me up and they put a $2 million package together. I never even wanted to talk to the owner. And so why? I wasn't looking for a deal. I was looking for long-term residual income. And so when I started this coffee thing, everybody said, this is stupid. I can't believe you sold yourself out to this little small company who's got a website, looked like it's been built by a 3-year-old. And I said, why do I need a website to sell coffee? All we need is drinkers, okay? Coffee drinkers and a coffee supplier. And I'm going to connect those two people together and I'll build the largest business that's ever been built in networking. Unfortunately, there were some other things that took place that we couldn't go there, but I made a business decision. That's what that was. It wasn't an emotional decision. It wasn't, I was looking for a deal or what I call the next deal. I was looking for something, and I used sound business principles, and I let the principles choose that company. I didn't choose it because Holton Bugs chooses companies emotionally. And every time I've chosen emotionally, I end up in a business that is stagnant, or I end up in a business that looks good on the front end and very weak on the back end or whatever it was. So I set 3 criteria. Number 1, has the leadership been already cemented in? Meaning, does this company, have they already picked and chosen their leaders? I find bad companies, they always choose their leaders and they have favorites. I didn't want any parts of that. So nope, they hadn't cemented their leaders. Number 2, is this affordable for the average person to be in? I say, well, what does that mean? Does it cost them more money per month than what their normal habits are? And I looked at coffee. I looked at people had about a $200 per month Starbucks habit. So I said, you know what? This right here fits the mold. It's not more expensive. Not about how high the price is. It's about how much are you paying more than you normally pay. And then the third thing was, if I could put together a situation whereas I can have in 24 months that I could have a person's residual income, meaning income from non-participants who didn't buy kit. If the income from non-participants can be just as great or larger than the income I'm making from the comp plan, if it fits those 3 criteria, I'll choose. And so I had a list of 26 companies, and my coffee business was not on the list. But when I went through it, saw the coffee, it hit my checklist, and I got in, and took me about a year to like the coffee.
Wow.
So it was a business decision. So that's why I was envious of you. Now I'll tell you this, I was envious of the trips and stuff that you were able to take, and we both made great money. So it's never been about the success. I was like, man, he's always on these trips and those little things and banners and stuff like that. That's cool. And every time I call you, man, I'm in another city or I'm in another country. I'm going here. We're going there. We got this trip. We got that trip. That's great. I can do the same thing because I made enough money out of my plan with the long-term business. I can take my family anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And you know what, Holton? I think that's what makes me what the difference is between you and I and where my mindset needs to catch up. And that's why I love being around you as much as possible, because you do stretch my thinking. I believe that, an entrepreneur should think like an entrepreneur. And network marketers don't necessarily think like entrepreneurs. And you thought it out as an entrepreneur, not just emotions. Now, I do have to be emotionally attached to my product. That's just me. That's my personality type. I know me. So as I'm watching and I'm learning, I'm looking for from a distance. I'm so glad that the path and the journey that we are on together right now. But I want to kind of, transition from, okay, you went from you won't do travel. And the number one reason had nothing to do with you. It had something to do with the fact that, I look at myself. I don't think it would be far-fetched for me to say in 10 years, my team did over, $500 million, if not $1 billion in travel revenue. I saw zero of that. I got somebody who's watching right now, Tara. Tara on the East Coast in New York, Tara Davis, she does an annual team trip with hundreds of people. We're going to do that here. She's never made a dime from those bookings because she's not a travel agent. So now, not only am I building a team kind of under the same umbrella, but with the mindset of you can actually be commissioned, not from booking travel, but on the savings. That's the part that I want to talk about. How did you come up with this concept? You don't have to go too deep into the story because I know you told it a lot of times, but from you, when you decided to launch your own company, did you do it because you had a desire to be an owner?
No, it was two things I said I'd never do. Number one, I'd never, ever get involved in travel and networking. And number two, I'd never own a company. Why would I do something dumb like that? I had more freedom than all my previous owners, and it just wasn't something I wanted to do. My purpose for doing this wasn't because I looked to get in travel. I didn't. The traditional way of doing travel, I will never do it. I won't. If we have to shift this and say you have to do this the way the other travel network market, we'd have to pivot. And because I know how the industry works. And so I didn't want to become an owner. I did this out of a total responsibility to me wanting to change the industry. I don't want to be seen as this guy who, the industry needs to be saved and he's going to do it. No, my family has benefited like crazy. My friends, my association, their lives have changed because of this industry. And so when you see it moving in a direction that's, not a positive one, you're like, you want to do something about it. And so what I wanted to do was revitalize it and remove the lie from network marketing. And that lie was all this residual income that your children's going to have after you perish. And that never happens. It doesn't. It just doesn't happen. We tell it from stage all the time, and we're just lying through our teeth. And I was one of the biggest liars in the industry. Unintentional, but nevertheless, I was setting people up for disappointment. It's almost as bad as telling, I've seen stories of people who, if you watch that movie, John Q, and they pay the insurance premium because the insurance salesman says, when something happens, we're going to be here for you. And the next thing you know, his son, catches this disease, this heart disease, and he needs a transplant. And they go to the insurance company. The insurance company say, you see that little clause here? We're not going to cover this.
Right.
And so there's a lot of families that are not in this industry because of that little clause.
Yeah.
And that little clause was, this is really not true because nobody's going to buy your product this long. Nobody's going to stay in this long because your products are overpriced. And that was a typical thing in networking. That's not putting down the industry. It's just what it is. And the world has changed. And I wanted to bring about that change. And I knew, here's what would happen. I knew if I took my idea to some other owner and said, hey, here's my idea. Go please open a company so I can make my dreams come true. That just wasn't going to work. And so I was like, you know what? Everything I've almost run from, I actually end up running into it or running towards it. I ran from coffee. I ran towards it. I ran my son from being in the music industry. Next thing you know, he becomes an artist. By the way, he just dropped it. I have to put a plug in, okay? And I've never done this, ever. You know me. I don't market any of my personal stuff, period. I don't try to profit from anything that nobody knows about my other companies or business. I don't market it cross market.
Right.
We dropped an album Friday. Okay, I think it was Friday, and the group is called Wave Pop, WAV3POP, and the album is called I Think I Fell in Love. And I have to tell you,
writing it down,
it's the best body of work he's ever done. He shocked me. It's grown folks music. And I don't say just explicit. I mean, it's music that my mom, my dad, your mom would actually love. The entire album. It's a let it play. So go if you have what is it, Spotify, one of those accounts, Apple Music, go get it. I Think I Fell in Love. I guarantee you'll listen to it from first song to the ninth song. But anyway, I told him, don't be a rapper. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that. Next thing you know, I open up a record label. And, we've got a platinum selling artist that's been on our record label. And then I said I wasn't going to be a CEO and own a travel business. Next thing you know, I'm doing that. So, that's why I tell people, be careful what you say you're not going to do. So, Johnny, I'm looking you in the eyes right now. I'm telling you this. I am not going to be a multi-billionaire. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it seems like your I am nots catch up to you. That's a good thing. Yeah. So, okay, why should we trust you as an owner?
Well, you shouldn't in the beginning, because trust should be something that you earn. I've learned in now 29 years, people meet owners and they say, oh, I've met the owner. He's got all of this integrity. And how do you know he's got integrity? How do you know she has integrity? What we have, most people in this industry, we have what I call entrepreneurial optimism. It means that we want to believe something is going to work so bad that we end up believing when we know it's wrong. And I see people join with really bad people, and they know that they're bad people. But that one little thing of me wanting to make them good, I focus only on that, or this opportunity, or this check, or this deal they're giving me, and we set ourselves up for disappointment. You shouldn't trust me. If you don't know me, you haven't been through anything with me. You should trust me. Edwin Haynes, should trust me. Sam and Kim Bean should trust me. T. Ray Mark, they should trust me. Anna should trust me. People who've been through it with me. But just because you've seen my name here, because that doesn't mean anything. The majority of that stuff was lies. When you saw my name with the incomes that they put up and all that stuff, the majority of that is lies. That wasn't my real income. Oftentimes it was sometimes less. Sometimes it was way more than what they posted. And so sometimes people think they know you because of what other people or social media does. Social media itself is the big lie. The biggest, if you want to present yourself as someone else that you're not, just get on social media. You can do it. People believe it. So here's what you should do. You should trust your principles and do your fact finding. And that's what I did when I started, when I even started my last coffee company. I said, I didn't trust me. So I said, if I choose a company, I know it's going to be emotional. So I let principles choose. And so if you're looking at iBoomerang, what are your principles? What do you stand for? What's important to you? And then look and say, does this company or does Holton measure up to those standards of leadership that I'm looking for? And then you say, okay, I'll trust the process. And you're not going to, you shouldn't have real trust for me until we go through something and I show you that I was exactly who I said that I was.
I love that.
But until we go through something, until we go through something, you don't trust me.
And I've seen you have that mindset and mentality for well over a decade. That's not a new mindset for you. So here you are, top level distributor in the world in terms of all network marketing companies. I saw you as a distributor in the compensation plan, make over $1 million a month. For me, it seemed like I watched you do that for years. I really don't know how many years you did it, but it felt like a very long time that you were making over $1 million a month as a distributor. That's more money than most owners make.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm talking about popular companies. I'm not talking about startup companies. I'm talking about popular companies that we all know the name of. A lot of those owners aren't profiting $1 million a month, and you did that as a distributor.
Do you see why I didn't want to be an owner?
Yeah, no employees, nothing, right? So this is the part that gets me excited. As a distributor, you hit the top. As an owner, I know you want to hit the top. I know your personality type, but what is your vision for individuals outdoing you as a distributor?
Well, that's one of the reasons I created the comp plan that we have. I'm all about progress, man. I'm all about things moving forward. And I think we can take exponential leaps towards the future if we really pay attention and if we care enough. And if we get our egos out of the way. You know, I love the fact that Michael Vick was very accepting of I forgot his name, but the quarterback for the Ravens right now, Lamar Jackson, who broke his record. He wasn't like, you know, you'll never break this record, kind of like those guys over at Miami. But he was so open. And so I love to see progress take place. When we open up, you know, my largest check for the first week of any company was $25,830. My goal was to have somebody break my record. Well, in iBoomerang, we had over 5 people. Their first week's checks was over $25,000. And then, you know, we had somebody else who come in, Thomas Poulin and Annie Lavoie. They came in. His check was $31,000 his first week, and so those records are designed to be broken. Now, it's not just first week. Okay, residual income is very important to me. I went back and I looked to see where some of our top earners are right now. We've got one of our top earners here who got their residual income to a point. It's like almost 100. It's really close to 100 grand a month, just of residual. No recruitment income. But they did that in 6 months, and it took me 21 months in my previous company to get to where they are in 6 months. And so I'm looking at their legs of business that they have running behind them and how far they are past me. My true goal is taking the lid off of the industry. When I went for $1 million a month, I had never made 100 grand a month. You gotta remember that. I had never been $100,000 a month earner, okay, before my previous company, never. So I set a goal to say, I'm going to quantum leap. Why? My thought process was there, and I had a strategic plan set up of how to get there by my 40th birthday. Well, we obviously got that done. By my 35th birthday, and got that done. And so here I set up a strategic plan so that leaders, this is going to be everybody, leaders have the opportunity to do that. You know, what I was doing per month, I want them doing it every 6 days, not 7, about every 6 days. Because, you know, I believe we've opened it up for people to get to that $5 million per month category. And I don't want to say that that's a guarantee to anyone. I know this is an interview here, and I don't want us making claims. That's not for everybody. That's for a few. I'm just being candid. Only a few, if any, will ever get there. But here's what I want to know. I just want to know, is it possible? See, if it's possible, I can go for it. In your case, you could have did the volume, but the income wasn't going to be released. No. So we designed it where that income could be released there. So that's what my goal is, to have that happen. All right. Somebody just put the disclaimer up. The team is working, boy. They put that income disclaimer up. The team is working. Hey, that's how we know that they have the mindset of longevity. So when we talk about commissions, let me do my personal disclaimer. My personal disclaimer is this is an interview. This is not in any shape, form, or fashion designed to recruit you to join iBoomerang. We are talking about the industry as a whole, and I am interviewing one of the top leaders, you know, since the inception of network marketing. It's been around for half a century, well more than half a century now, and he's still one of the top networkers that have ever lived. So I'm interviewing him as a top networker as well as an owner. So with that being said, there are people watching right now that are watching for the reason. Now this would, you know, and I've done this in the past. I would look for reasons of ways to recruit against my competitor.
But that's a rookie thinking. I was a rookie when I thought like that. I would watch other companies to build my reasons of why people shouldn't join that company. That's crazy, right? But that was my mindset and mentality. But I know they're watching. So those are the type of questions that I want to ask. Holton, $1 million a month man. You start your own company. Startup companies are destined to fail. 99, here's my pitch. 99%, and we say this after the third year. Because, once we make it past the third year, we talk bad about the other startups. So here's what we do. 99% of every company that has ever launched in the history of network marketing never makes it past the first year. And then we say 97% of every company that has ever launched in the history of network marketing will never make it past the third year. So, Holton, why do you believe you're going to make it? And congratulations, you're about to have your first year birthday for iBoomerang. Congratulations on that. But in terms of your pre-launch, why do you believe, what gives you the audacity to believe that you're going to make it? Startups don't work.
Well, here's the thing, okay? We've never set a goal to make it for our first year. I just, I'm not being arrogant, but
that's good.
We weren't trying this. This wasn't a test. This wasn't a project.
Oh, somebody quote that. Hold on. Somebody needs to take a screenshot and quote that. This is not a test.
Right.
I love that. That mindset alone to me puts you in a league of your own.
Yeah. Guys, I want you to understand that this thinking of this concept has been there for 5 years. I was trying to solve, here's what most network marketing companies do, and this is why some of them don't make it, okay? There's several reasons. You talked to me about this before, and I told you most of them, number one, they're undercapitalized. When the company grows, they can't afford the forward expenses. I've got a buddy of mine that called me and says, man, we're picking up some speed right now. Do you know anybody that's looking to invest? Because we're growing, but we can't buy enough product because we're so new, we don't have credit right now. Right. And it's hurting them as a company. If they stay slow, they'd be okay. All right. But it's the growth that hurts a company, not lack of growth. Okay. Right. It's the growth, forward expenses. You don't have credit. They make you buy everything. Your merchant accounts are holding anywhere from 10 to 20% of your revenue. Because you're brand new, they give you small limits on your credit cards because you're brand new. Your banking it's a whole different beast of what takes place to make a company succeed. But the other thing, let's talk about the idea just from the inception. Here's what happens. Most companies, when they start off with the solution. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to start with the solution. I want to start with the problem. What do I mean? I've seen companies who started and somebody came and brought them this product and they thought it was a great product and they says, you know what, this is a great product. This could do well in network marketing. They were never looking for that product. But somebody brought it to them and said, hey, listen, try this or try this chapstick to make your lips pump up perkier, whatever it is, right? This could sell in network marketing. And so they come out with a solution. And then here's what we do. I've done it. We go and look for people and convince them that they have the problem. And so we do it in reverse. We said, you know what? Here's my solution. Nobody's ever heard of this product before. Nobody's ever heard of this, whatever. And now let me go find people and convince them, here's what your problem is. Look, you are overweight. You don't have good health. You don't have this. You don't have that. You don't have all of these things. But I've got the solution. And if you take my potion or whatever it is, and I'm not putting those things down, it's the mindset of the owners. If you take my potion, then it'll solve the problem that you never knew that you had. I've done that. And I'm like, that's backwards. I started with, the problem instead of the solution. What's really the problem? The problem is our industry is plagued with over-exaggeration. Our industry is plagued with not keeping promises. Our industry is plagued with overpriced products. And I don't want to say overpriced because of greed. It's overpriced now because the world has changed. Let me give you an example of what I mean. If I can go to Amazon and buy the exact same product for 70% less, no matter how good my company's owner is, that's overpriced. And it's going to, at some point in time, the marketplace is going to meet my opportunity with mad resistance. And I'm going to lose a customer base, okay? So overpricing was a major issue. The concept of having customers on an auto ship is antiquated. It's old, it's outdated. The new modern world is saying, auto ship for customer? Why? So, because if I can be on Amazon Prime and make that my auto ship for $10 extra per month, have access to all of their movies, and then when a product comes out, get it shipped to me for free, 70% cheaper than what your network marketing company is going to sell it to me for, network marketing is behind times. So here are these problems that I saw. I saw a market plagued with no real customers. Nobody was gathering real customers, no customer data. Here's the problem. So I'm looking around, instead of finding all of these pseudo solutions, I'm looking and identifying my whole industry has a problem. I know it. I know this industry inside out. Let me fix that. And so now I came out with the solution, and the solution was a company and a concept and new thinking, not a new product. It's a new way to do network marketing was our solution. And so that was why travel became a part of it. And I'll give you some of our stats a little bit later on, but that's why travel became a part of it, not because I was looking for travel. Travel and our technology and the way that we're doing it, it was like, okay, if I put this together and I use this level of thinking to do it from a consumer acquisition point, I can win. And I can eliminate what the majority of people are struggling with in network marketing. I can eliminate all of those things. And now people can have a real true business. They don't have to recruit one person to make real money over here. They can give away something for free. We just got this month's travel savings bonuses in. And so people were laughing at our first one when we start talking about some of them were $5 and $20 and $30. And, we maybe have one at $100, $200. That was like this is brand new. Well, now they're not laughing now. We had some that were one of our $1,600. He didn't sell anything, nothing. He gave somebody a free technology. That customer is not on auto ship at all. That person never has a monthly expense. That person used the free technology. They saved $3,200. He got a check for $1,600, and the other $1,600 was converted into about 2,000 BV that flows up. And now you've got at least 7 people that's going to get paid on 2,000 BV from something that costs nothing. It's different. It's a whole different concept. So we just started different. That don't make us better. It's just we're just different. That's why our hashtag is just different. I still want the other companies to exist. Why? I take network marketing product vitamins. I do. I use network marketing cleaning products. I am an ambassador for this industry. I want the industry to grow. But here's what I learned. I can buy and consume those products, but I don't have to sell them, promising my family that they're going to have a legacy of income.
I love that. I just thought about something while you were talking. The biggest obstacle that I would have to do to suggest that people join me and Boomerang, especially if they're industry leaders or they have industry experience from other companies, is, Holton really doesn't have experience, owning a company. And while you were talking, I'm literally thinking to myself, you may actually be the most experienced startup owner I've ever met. Not just experience in building internationally on a global scale, but the revenue that you have created should be your experience. Your previous company, you actually helped design that comp plan. So in terms of experience as a startup owner, somebody's watching right now. What security can you give them of why they should follow you as a startup owner?
Well, first of all, they've got to get out of the network marketing mentality. That's the first thing. Okay.
You know what's funny about that? Let me say something. You know what's funny about what you just said? We spend so much time training people on the mentality of network marketing. Like, the language that you need to learn needs to stay in this umbrella. And if you get out of this umbrella, you may find out the truth.
Right. Well, name a company that Mark Zuckerberg succeeded owning before Facebook.
You can't.
You can't, okay? You know, I can go through owner after owner after owner after owner after owner after owner after owner. So, and here's the thing. I can find you owners who own several network marketing companies, and all of them have failed. So it's not about you gotta have experience owning a network marketing company. Well, what if when you graduated from college, you have to have experience as an engineer to be an engineer? Well, how am I going to get experience if I can't start with something? Well, I'm sorry, you got to have experience. You know, It was almost like our rideshare company. I'll tell you this: in the rideshare industry, which is difficult. I hope you get to that. It's a beast. It's great. It's a beast. But to get insurance, you know what they tell you? You've got to have drivers on the road and have a history before we insure you. But in order to put drivers on the road, you got to have insurance.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, well, hold on, you know, and it's the same thing. So here's the thing here, all right? When it comes to all this experience, I don't have a history of experience owning a network marketing company. I don't. You don't need experience owning a company. You need experience running a company. Now, I've got 16 other corporations that I do own. Okay? I don't talk about them with everybody else. I've got a huge real estate business that I own. I've got a development company, record label, a merchandising company, other stuff, okay?
Right.
But here's what I do have experience in. And so you take a company, forget about the ownership of a company. Ownership means nothing in terms of success. What means something is who's going to run it, who understands how to choose the right people. So what I do have experience in is being able to say, you know what, you should be in this seat over here. You should be over here in this seat. You should run this, and bringing some of the brightest and sharpest minds who know things that I don't know. If I was the smartest one and I boomerang, you should run.
That's good.
I've got some incredible talent, some people that I rely on. We are building a team that is absolutely phenomenal. And so here's the thing as an owner that you should look at. And I want to educate you who because somebody sold you on this type of story. And it's inaccurate thinking that causes people to fail. And that type of thinking causes us to miss out on great opportunities. So here's the thing that you've got to pay attention to is that, you know, somebody said that when you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get a new room, right? And my goal is to build iBoomerang to where I am wanted and desired, but not needed. This is not, I don't want to build this company around, it's got to be built around HB or HB's personality or no. Because now that's a personality dependent company. We're building a systems dependent company so that if something ever happens to HB, everything that I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, is all I told you when I wanted to stop the lie. Well, if I built this around HB and something happens to HB, now the legacy of income that you and your family are depending on, Johnny, it's gone because it's built on HB. So I'm building this around principles, and I'm building this around a system so that should HB ever disappear, the road still goes on. And hopefully you cry a lot, especially you, Johnny, if something happens to HB. But it still goes on. And so that's what you look for. Do you know how to run a company? Because here's the thing. I was in a company before with the person who owned the company. I'm so glad, honestly, they had me because they were the owner. But who ran the business? Who ran the production? I did. I ran all the production of the company. So, that's not to say that they didn't do what they were supposed to do, but you just got, I have 10 years of experience working on the corporate end. You see the inside, you see the outside, you see why companies fail. We don't have a lack of capital. We don't have inexperience here. We don't have an inability to connect with our team and provide solutions. We've got a product that the market that's in demand in the market. Matter of fact, can I share with you some of the accomplishments, or you want to get to that later?
Let's save that thought because I do want to get to that, but I also want to ask some questions before we get to that.
Sure, go ahead.
So do you have any fear or apprehension that people are going to see iBoomerang as this like smorgasbord type company? Oh, we're just going to throw this at the wall and we're going to see what sticks. I've never seen a company create their first millionaire, right out of launch. I know you pre-launched, but within months you create your first $1 million earner. Is that 100% from commissions in the compensation plan?
Yes, and got three to four more that's like right there. So
right there, 100% from the comp plan. They don't. It's not from ownership or shares or I'm just being real because people are going to want to know. People think I own iBoomerang. They think I have a percentage.
You do. You got a percentage of your organization. So here's the thing, guys. I want to let's like you said, this is uncut and raw. Okay, I've never accepted a deal in a company. Never.
Repeat that real quick.
No, not one company can say we paid HB to come here. Ever.
So historically, as a rep, is that what you're saying? Not okay.
Historically, as a rep, never, ever. Here's what I did do. I'll never forget. I was in a travel company, YTV. When I went to YTV, I did strike a deal. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal that I put together, and you can call Coach up right now, Coach Tomer or Scott, and say, hey, listen, what was the deal you gave HB? I put a deal together, and I said, listen, I hit level 2 director in 1 year. Here's what I want. I want a $100,000 bonus.
Okay.
But I want you to make that available for the entire company.
Respect.
So that if anybody does it, you put that bonus in place. Because I didn't want $100,000. My team and myself helped build that volume. Because see, here's what happens when you get deals. Your team is what helped you build it. You get the money, and you look at them when you're driving your Rolls Royce, and they're driving they're struggling, and they were part of helping you get the production for that deal, but you didn't share the money with them. So I never wanted to be in a position of having to explain why or having to explain whatever. Do I knock people who go out and get deals? No, because the industry's changed, and some people, that's their deal. They're not going to do it if they're not going to get a deal. Okay.
Right.
So they put that bonus in place, and they went and told everybody who inspired that bonus. Not one dime did I ask for. When I joined my last company, not one single dime.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I ask for? And now here's what I did get. I'll be candid with you. When I became the VP, which was about a year later, and they gave me a VP, corporate position, I said I want to make my money through the comp plan. So we got equity. I got equity. I own 10% of the company. I've got $0, distribution from it. They've never paid out a royalty of that. They've never paid a distribution. I still own it to this day. Have never, ever, still to this day, have paid out one dime of equity into that. But as a distributor, no, I never got that. And when you came to this company, I'll never forget. Here's the thing. I was on a phone call with you. We were doing a three-way with somebody, and they were pretty big. And they asked me for something. Guys, I'll tell you that. Here's what happened with Johnny. They asked me for a deal. Johnny lost it. He called me afterwards and he got with them as well. He says, dude, you're my best friend. I didn't ask you for a deal. I don't even want them in the company. How are you going to ask this dude for a deal? I'm putting you on I didn't ask for anything. So,
right.
I even, guys, Johnny, here's the thing. We got, I even have diamonds in our organization. They go to some of their upline. What did Holton give Johnny? He couldn't have done this. He couldn't have done this fast, this big. And they still, hey, what did he get? Instead of focusing on their business, I gave him an opportunity.
Hey, keep asking Holton until he gives me something.
So I gave him an opportunity. I didn't do anything for you we didn't do anything. I mean, I think I may have, I don't know. I think maybe maybe it was one or two people that we gave a 15% or 20% to. It may have been 5 or 10. I don't know how many it was, but I've done that for different people, different leaders coming in. But I don't do deals, and Johnny never asked for one. Jix never asked for one. None of your other leaders asked for one. But I told you guys, we'll get together and the deal is our comp plan.
Right.
That's the deal, the opportunity and the comp plan.
And to me, Holton, that means a lot to me. Like I pretty much taken a vow, and I would say this is about 15 years, a company that offers me something. And it's not because I'm not worth it. I am definitely worth it. However, I know that can't be duplicated. And I don't have what it takes to lie to people. Like I've been criticizing this industry. Johnny, you got to learn how to fake it. Nah, if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the real answer, even if I don't like the real answer. So I don't want to deal from iBoomerang because then I have to tell people, right? I'm not going to lie about it. I won't join a company in the past 15 years based on deals, because I know if you give me one, you're going to dilute the compensation plan. You're going to dilute the integrity of the company. You're going to dilute the percentages of the companies being able to pay out bonuses above and beyond the comp plan because you're giving deals to people. I don't know one company that's still around that started out by giving deals, and that would scare me.
It's just not my philosophy. Edwin Haynes, Global Master Ambassador, works his butt off.
Hard.
Has never asked. Here's what he was doing. He's traveling around. He's had a pretty nice, profitable oil and gas company. And he says, man, listen, I see the vision here so big. I'm campaigning where we're going. I'm gonna have it running, but I'm not gonna bring on any new clients. He took his employees who were really good and brought some over here, paid for their salaries to work here for iBoomerang, never asked for a dime, and was paying for his own travel. I said, dude, hold on for a second. Please send me invoices for when you're traveling. You're going all over the place. Let me cover that. We're going to cover that. And he very seldom sends the invoices. And so I don't want a person here who has to come because they think they have to get a deal. I mean, I know what my value is in the marketplace. My value is in the comp plan, not what somebody can pay me in terms of from an employee standpoint. I'm not an employee, and I don't want to be treated like one, because if I pay you, now you're making yourself an employee, and that's not what this is about. So this won't work for those who are looking for deals.
Yeah. And from a selfish place, I wanted people to know that from my perspective, because I don't want to have to answer those questions. I hear the rumors, but nobody's coming to me directly. I don't own any percentage of iBoomerang. I don't have any stock in the company. I don't have an executive position. I haven't been promised anything. I just want to build. I don't want people I don't want to have to answer questions to corporate. I want to build and go to work. And if I have ownership, I got to answer questions. I don't want to do that.
And I want to let you know this here, because I see a lot of people who posted some crazy stuff about Holton's got business partners who was in other travel. iBoomerang is owned 100% by me. There's not one percentage that's owned by anybody but the Buggs family estate. Period. End of story. And that's just the way that is. And iBoomerang has no debt. So we don't have. There's no owners and other owners in this. There's just not.
Okay. So now I want to kind of switch past, and I want to talk about Vibe Ride, because in a sense.
Well, do me a favor. Give me one second. I'm here long. I got to answer. I got to let them in this door here real quick. Okay, give me one second.
Go ahead. And while he's away, I want people to understand. Listen, the reason we are doing this call, the reason I asked for this interview. Holton did not ask for it. I asked for it because people have known me in this industry for well over a decade, 2 decades, starting next month, 2 decades. You can't trace me back to lying to make money. For 2 decades, for 20 years, you will never find one person in the industry that said I blatantly lied to them for profits. It's not my style. It's not my heart. And I would never follow a company that would put me in a position where I have to lie. That's just not me. I walked away from this in 2019. I made $2 million in my previous company. I'd say between 1.9 and 2 million, somewhere in that area, in my previous company. The only reason I walked away because I was getting very close to where I would have to lie to stay there. So this interview is about transparency and keeping it real. When I heard that you're going to roll out Vibe Rides, Holton, when I knew that you were going to launch a rideshare company, within months of the official launch, weeks of the official launch, which was September 1st, the last weekend of August, and I knew you were going to launch Vibe Rides, I got nervous. I got nervous because I feel like most people couldn't handle that if it wasn't rolled out the right way. I've seen companies roll out amazing announcements the wrong way, and it killed production. You did it with perfection and with precision, almost like a laser surgeon. Vibe Rides. Obviously, you're in the first few months of the launch. Numbers are at an all-time high, and we're hitting record-breaking numbers, and you roll this out. You're a new company, so you can never say you have customer support at the place that you want it. You can't say that, we are so ready for Vibe Rides and it's going to be perfect. I got scared because in iBoomerang, I'm still wanting customer support to get to a place where we need it. And here you are launching a new arm that's going to require its own personal customer support. So what kind of security can you give me? And I've seen it. I know what's going on. We launched Florida. We're about to launch Texas. But we're a global company. I don't even know if the United States is the fastest growing, segment in iBoomerang. I honestly don't know. But for someone from the outside looking in, you launched this incredible technology. Why would you do that so fast?
Great question. You talked about how afraid you were. Were you? I was afraid too. I was afraid to launch iBoomerang. To be candid, so we're just being uncut. This was a scary moment. Being a CEO, being responsible, being the owner. Now you got all these people all around the world depending on you. That's fear. But I've never grown by being comfortable. I've always grown by pushing myself to that next limit, and it's made me a better networker now because I have a different ear than I used to have. Okay. I have a different eye that I have more patience now. As a networker, the sky was always falling and everything was urgent, because here's what's common in network marketing. We come to you, and come to the owner or an executive. Hey, listen, we got this problem and we can't fix this. And everybody in my group is having this problem. And that used to be me. I would go to my superiors and say, hey, everybody's having this problem. And when you really quantified it, it was like 3 people.
Right.
So when we say 3, it's like everybody's having this problem. And I used to have this panic. And now, because I know the truth and I know what's really taking place, I got more patience and I have a different eye. So let's back up and talk about why. Well, when we launched iBoomerang, we already told everybody what iBoomerang was. This wasn't a product company. We are a PRIV. That's who we
Break it
are.
down.
Okay. PRIB, perpetual residual income builder. So I hope we have the slide of our PRIB here that they can put up on the screen. And so that's what we are. That's why we're so different. Everybody thought we were launching.
To understand, as they're pulling this up, the PRIB, P-R-I-B, when I understood this is when I knew I was going to go to work. If you remember, you know, I'm one of the first people to join the company.
Right.
Secretly.
You were the second. You after Ed. You were the. You know, it was you, Sam Bean, and Ed, who was who got the trio.
Yeah.
So it was Ed, Sam Bean on the right, and you on the left.
Yeah. So when I joined, I didn't join because I thought I was going to start building it this year. I joined that maybe, you know, I'll start building it 2 or 3 years from now when it's in place. But when I saw the PRIB, when you broke the PRIB down to me, I kind of knew that I needed to start placing leaders in secretly, you know, that I worked with from the past or people that I knew, or get them to you secretly, because I knew the PRIB was going to be the secret, and the PRIB would ultimately be the reason why I had to walk away from $180,000 a month, because you made me understand the PRIB, and the fear of loss was so incredible that $180,000 a month started looking like pennies to me.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the cool thing here. All right. So let's talk about this PRIB here. We didn't launch a travel company. All right, guys. Travel is the front door to our business, and it always will be. Because why? Travel is sexy. It's cool. I've always loved travel for travel, but not as the business that it used to be. Okay, of being I'm a referring travel agent. That's not the business that works. Okay, the travel industry does not like network marketing, having these IATAN cards, and everybody gets a card, and you get these discounts when you travel to these places, and you're supposed to refer travel. Nobody ever refers travel. So I didn't want to do that. But this PRIB was different. I said, the PRIB is going to be this hub. Okay. I'm reading this book here, and I may be digressing, but it has everything to do with what we're talking about. I'm reading this book called Matchmakers. All right. And Matchmakers is really about multi-sided platforms. And these different types of businesses that are launching, your Ubers, your Airbnbs, you know, your Open Tables, your all of these different companies that have multi-sided platforms, and it's different. This is a whole new industry. And so what we did in network marketing is we just network marketed a new concept of industry. Network marketing typically has only marketed single-sided platform companies. What is that? I buy a product, I look for a customer to sell it to. That's what we do, right? Even in travel. Well, I have access to a travel booking engine, I'm going to look for a customer to sell it to. That's network marketing. What we do, we're matchmakers. This is our company, guys. We're matchmakers. What is a matchmaker? What we do essentially is we are a hub. And what we do is we create an environment that is free to exist in this environment. And we put an opportunity here, and we put a customer here. Both have value. The opportunity itself has value, and the customer base, or the customers have value because we let them in for free. They don't pay for anything to be in this environment. And so when you take a look at it, the customers are now identifying, okay, travel. I can save money on my travel for real. And they actually use it. I'll give you some statistics in a moment. Well,
hey, hold on one second.
Go ahead.
I want you to take your time on this particular visual that people are looking at. I'm going to stop my video real quick. I got to do something, but I want you to take your time. I'll break this down. Have fun with this. And again, the PRIB is the reason. When I understood this, and I really want you to break it down, and I have 3 hard questions for you after, and then I want you to ask me 3 hard questions. All right?
Gotcha.
But this right here is the reason. Holton Bugs is not the reason I walked away from $2 million a year. I'm just being honest. You're not the reason. If that were the reason, I would have followed you in coffee when you were making $1.4 million a month and I was making $70,000 a month. I would have, if it was about money, I would have followed you way back then. What he's about to break down is why I walked away from $2 million a year. This is why.
So, okay, so now you see there's the biggest circle that we have on the screen is the PRIB, okay? The PRIB is that perpetual residual income builder that has a combination of data analytics, okay, artificial intelligence, and an exemplary customer support service. Now, you heard Johnny. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would I rate our customer service right now as a company? Not our customer service agents. Our customer service agents, they're incredible. I love them. They work hard. They're working on weekends. But our whole process on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 3.5 now. It used to be a 3.5. We're getting better every week now, and I'll explain how that's going to work. Now, so that's what the PRIB is all about. It's about being able to provide for ambassadors or distributors who previously been in network marketing, who couldn't do certain things. If you can't present for yourself, well, guess what? You're at a loss. Well, we do that for you. We've got the most incredible, Johnny, you used our presentation tool. Our presentation. How many presentations have you, Johnny Wimbrey, the great motivational speaker, how many presentations have you given?
Good question. Somebody has to give me access to turn my video back on. But I've done 0 PowerPoint presentations. I have used, I decide 100%, 72 personals. This month, my goal is to hit 100 personals. And thus far, I've done 0 presentations.
Okay, so that means it's working, okay? It's working. So now that means that the person who's afraid of presenting and don't like talking to people, they can utilize that as well. It's a skill that you've got to use to be able to set up your conversation with the person. You don't just spam everybody and these people join. You've got to have a relationship, and you still have to make sure that you qualify them. So we do that. Following up, that's the next step that we've done now. We follow up and follow through with every ambassador that you bring in. Why? Because that's the problem. Remember we talked about the problem? People don't know how to do it, and people don't do it. So we put together 10 videos that when a person joins, they're going to get these 10 videos. We want it whereas nobody needs you, Johnny, as a sponsor. Yeah. That if a person quits the business, so what? You've got the PRIB. The PRIB becomes your sponsor, okay? Yeah. So all of these personal dependencies that we have in network marketing, it's a thing of the past. It's old. It keeps companies small. So we've got that. Now, let me get into the product engine of what the PRIB does. It does a lot of other things that this PRIB is going to do, and it takes a lot of money and thought process and time to put all of this together.
Travel, can I just say real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When you blow my mind, man, I just can't. I can't sit still. For 20 years, I've been doing this industry. 20 years, I've been in the multi-level marketing. I have never heard anything like what you just said in my life when it comes to the PRIB becomes your personal sponsor. Slow down and digest what he just said. That is how Uber thought. That's how Amazon thought. Online becomes your store. You know, you have regular people, you don't have to buy a car ever again, but we'll be your vehicle.
Yeah.
The PRIB becomes your personal sponsor. That is a new way of thinking for it's a huge shift in an industry that has existed for, I would say, 70 years.
70 years. But here's the thing, Johnny. See, most people are, when you challenge what's current, it doesn't work. It'll never happen because they've never seen it. And they're supposed to think that way because they're not supposed to. I understand it, but I don't listen to it. So I remember a day when we said, well, I'll never have a robot in my house. Everybody carries a robot around. You say, right. What? Siri, could you find the closest restaurant to me? You'll say, hey, Google, play this music. Or you'll say, hey, Alexa, do this. Well, when we do those are robots. And so my thought was bring those robotics into network marketing. You know, hey, PRIB, can you explain to me what my monthly subscription is all about? And then you go there and it automatically does. It tells you everything exactly. It doesn't make a mistake whatsoever. It never will. It's programmed to remove human errors, not human touch. So what we leave is that your personal sponsor is designed for the emotional component of the culture, but the instructional component can come from the Prib. It's not going to make mistakes. It's no different than autonomous cars coming up. Autonomous cars, if autonomous cars were on the road today, we'd have 1 million more people living than we do now. So that way you'll be able to get in your car, enjoy your family, okay, and let the car do the driving. Why? The car would never take its two hands off the wheel. The car would never text message. The car will never take a call. The car will never not see what's in front, side, or in back. It will never make those mistakes. So what we're doing is putting all of that together so we can be in front. We know it's going to come with other companies, but when you take the lead and you become front runner, you build the most momentum who perfected the technology and the concept that second place is like, okay, it's like Uber. We're not going to be bigger than Uber. That's not our plan. But right. So that's the Prib. So the Prib allows that. Travel, why is travel important to us? Because of those commissions that I just told you about, those people, those customers join for free. If you notice, we said 300,000 customers. Check this out here. Check this out. Here's what I want to share with you. My team, they're incredible. Now, we're 8 months old, Johnny, actually 9 months old. Let me read some statistics to you.
I love it.
We booked 39,737 travel bookings.
Wow.
Hello. Find one other travel company. Oh, they put it up there for me. They just sent this to me. This is a year in our review. Here's my scorecard.
So this is a 1 year review.
Yeah, this is not even 1 year.
Less than a year. Let's talk about this. This is what I wanted to talk about. Let's go.
All right. So 39,737 travel bookings, $11.2 million in travel bookings. Okay. 96 is that almost $1 million in travel savings.
Wow.
These are for free customers. Average savings 9%. Average savings in November to December 12%. Why? We had a meeting with the owner of our technology, our partners say, nobody is booking like you guys are booking. Came right here to my house and said, listen, whatever you guys want, you got it. You tell us what you want. We said, we want better pricing in Europe. We got it. We want better pricing in Asia. He says, we're working on it. We want I can't tell you some of the other stuff that's coming, but we're going to do it. They've never done it for anybody else because nobody's booking like we're booking. We're 8 months old, 9 months old. So Here's a portion of our scorecard. This is why travel was so important, because as we get the customers into the Prib, we got them into the Prib. Uber got people into their Prib, which is their app, by offering a matchmaking system. I'm going to connect a customer who wants a ride to a driver who wants a customer. They don't provide the service. They don't provide the car. They just matchmake. This is what we do. A customer who wants to go on a destination and a hotel who needs a customer. So we have a Prib. We match those two up. It costs them nothing, and we get a commission from it. And we pay out those commissions. We pay 85% of every dollar that comes in on those commissions. We pay it back out to the field, okay? So we've been able to do that. Now, so what happened that Uber did, Apple does the exact same thing. Apple, I'll give you an example here, guys. I'm getting fired up right now. Here's what Apple does. Apple said, we're going to come out with a technology called Apple Pay. Now, right? For all of those who have Apple phones, Johnny can't experience that because he's still in the dark ages with Samsung. But anyway, anyway, Apple Pay is a concept where you can pay on your phone. It's a free service. It doesn't cost you anything. You get to a computer or to a checkout counter. Guess what you do? Boom, you hit Apple Pay. Apple makes sure that your credit card is all scrambled. They never give a credit card number out, so there's no fraud with it. Everybody thought, oh, that's a free service Apple wanted to give. Hogwash. They didn't do that for a free service. It's a part of their Prib. You know what Apple came back and just did recently? Struck a deal with Goldman Sachs. Why? So that every time you use Apple Pay, guess which card comes up first automatically to charge your purchases on? Your Apple credit card. But because you're in their Prib, now when you use Apple Pay, the first thing that pops up Hopefully it pops up on mine. I'm on the phone. It may not. The first thing that pops up on mine is my Apple credit card.
Wow.
Okay? The first thing that pops up is my Apple credit card. Okay? Tell me right now, new monthly installments if I want them. The very first one, what is it? Apple, right here. My Apple credit card. So what they're doing is allowing me they allow me free access to a service. And then now, because I benefit from the simplicity of that service, when I go to use it again, I was going to use a credit card anyway. Which one do you think I'm going to use? I'm using Apple. And Apple gives me 3% back on my purchases. So which one do you think I'm going to use? It's smart business. But network marketing want to stay in the Stone Ages. But sadly, their distributors do too. Yeah. Because if I can make $20,000 a month doing it the old way, doing it the hard way, I can't see $50,000 a month doing it a way that I've never seen before. So the PRIB allows us to do that. So now when we bring that in, we've got the customers. So our customers are saying, hey, we love this PRIB. 37,000 of them have booked already.
Right.
Do you think that they'll take a ride? Of course. They're traveling. And so rideshare is a component of travel.
Right.
It's a big industry. But and I'll end with this. Here's the biggest reason why we launched rideshare. A couple reasons. Number one, I was fascinated with rideshare 5 years ago. Uber blew my mind with this matchmaking concept.
I remember.
Okay. And you remember I talked about launching a rideshare company 5 years ago, and I woke up one day, this is the stupidest thought I ever had. Let me shut it down. And that was a big mistake. Anytime you have a big idea, guys, don't think it's stupid. So here's the thing that really got me. Okay. As we started to build, I started to see what was the enemies to network marketing. Number one, no new ideas. Here's what most companies do. I did it as well. In network marketing, companies fail to gain or regain momentum because they run out of ideas. And most companies think a new product is a new idea. Well, we now have 5 different flavors of this same product. And it's a product launch at their convention. We're launching strawberry or we're launching chocolate. Right. And that becomes the innovative thing because they've run out of ideas.
Right.
We're not going to launch new products. We're launching new companies. So for the person who wants to be an entrepreneur, we're saying, hey, if you've ever wanted to be in the travel business and make more off of a booking than a travel agent does, you can join our Boomerang. Use our iGo platform. If you want to focus on travel, you can. It's free. You give them away for free. Hey, if you've ever thought about owning your own fleet of limousines or rides or car pick, you don't have to invest in them. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of them on the road. All you got to do is connect them and connect your customers. We've provided the service and you get the money for it. You actually get paid for it. Okay. And so I looked at it and said the enemies to network marketing are, number one, the gig economy, which includes rideshare and concepts like Uber Eats and all of that stuff as well, rideshare. Yeah. And then Amazon.com, because most network marketing have marketed products and physical products needs to be shipped, which means you can buy them online. And if you can buy them online on your network marketing, you can buy them on Amazon much cheaper. You can't get a Vibe ride on Amazon. You can't get a travel at our price on Amazon. So I said, instead of believing that I can beat the enemy, because I can't, we don't have enough money to beat Jeff Bezos. You're not going to beat him. And so I'm not so egotistical to think I'm going to go up against what I know is changing. I'm not so egotistical to think that I'm going to go up against the rideshare industry where people can make themselves a guaranteed $1,000 a month by driving rideshare part-time, where it's difficult to make that in network marketing. I said, bring the enemy in-house and make the enemy go to work for you. When you find somebody who's really good at hacking computers, you hire them to build your protection system. You don't think that you're going to outsmart them. You hire them. So that's what we've done. That's where rideshare comes from. And our goal is to build so many transactions. We're working right now. We've got a goal of 2 million transactions a day going through the PRIB. The PRIB is where your money's at, not in the travel. not in the ride share, not in the mobile, not in this and all of these other things. Okay. And so, but here's what we have done, Johnny, just so that you know. We have brought in one of the top customer service experts, period, not in network marketing, and customer service centers. Guys, stop thinking you need a network marketing person to do a corporate responsibility. You need a professional who understands that particular industry. So we brought in Frederick Brem that we hired over 4.5 months of thought and negotiation. We bit the bullet, brought him on in. He moved to Houston now, and we have built an entire team for rideshare. We've got a 24-hour customer service for our rideshare already, okay? Wow. We've got 9 total. We can scale it. There's a system. There's a philosophy. There's everything that we need. Why? You start with the smallest piece first. You're probably saying, well, why didn't you bring them to do iBoomerang? Because that's the biggest piece. Let's perfect it with rideshare that hadn't grown so big yet. And now what he's able to do now is he understands the whole layout, the platform, everything, and we're going to take the entire company and utilize the same exact system to provide an exemplary customer amazement service and take it from a 3.5 to an 8.5 to a 9.5. That's what the whole plan is.
Customer amazement services. You see how he thinks? Like the thinking alone. So I want to ask you some quick questions, and we're going to fire shoot this because I want to be done within the 2-hour period. And I promise you guys, this is the type of video that any high-level person that you're afraid to talk to, you're going to want them to watch this. Because these are the type of questions, this is the transparency that they're going to want. They're going to want. So just real quick, how many customers have we acquired in iBoomerang in the since inception?
Since inception, they'll put the number up, but I think it's over 340,000 customers, I believe it is. He'll send me the number, I'm sure, because they're listening right now. So it's over 300 and some thousand customers.
There it is, 330,000 customers to date in a startup company that's not supposed to make it, according to what we have said for the past 20 years. But what we fail to realize is every company that anybody's a part of at some point was a startup. 330,000 customers to date. How many ambassadors? Ambassadors, if you're watching this first time, these are representatives. These are direct salespeople. How many ambassadors? Okay, active
They
ambassadors.
beat you to the punch. They beat you to over 40,000 active ambassadors. 1 presidential diamond, 4 blue diamonds, 21 diamonds, 28 emeralds, 59 rubies, 221 sapphires. We're fully transparent over here. Fully transparent. Now, here's what I want them to put up for you as well, if they have it. Guys, if you have the sequence of our travel sales, of how they've started and where they are now, every month how our travel sales have gone up, this is what I want people to see, because we're 9 months here. This is growing exponentially.
I've never seen a company, a startup company, if you will, show their numbers, this close out of the gate. So what you're about to share with them, what you're about to show them, it looks like you're going to show the progression chart.
Yeah, I want them to see it. I think we have a chart. We use it internally. We don't put it out there. Here it is, right there. You can see this is not something that this is internal stuff here.
This is scary. I can't believe you're doing this.
Yeah, guys, it's growing. We're not playing around here. It's growing. This is the real deal of what we do in travel and the savings. Look at it. It's growing every month. The only month it didn't grow was December, which we know is not one of the biggest months, but it's still, this is the real deal. Johnny, can you imagine, you built the travel business for 9, 10 years, 11 years, whatever. Can you imagine starting like this in 8 months? Now, here's the cool thing. We don't lose customers. Have we lost reps? Yes, we're going to, and we will always. We always will. That's just what's going to happen, all right? And some of it is because we failed them. Some of it, I'll take responsibility. We have failed some of our reps, okay? And it breaks my heart even when I see one person, whether they got in at the bottom level, who gives up on us. And I feel responsible for it. Some of it is because, you know, their own reasons as well. But I take the responsibility for the majority of those people who said, I'm not going to be here anymore or whatever. Or some of them say they see a shinier object or whatever it is, and which is cool. I'm not intimidated by that. Guys, put those back up real quick. Put those back up, those numbers back up. So can you imagine, Johnny, being here 4 years, knowing our travel numbers are not going to go down because our customers don't belong to the rep? The income from those customers belongs to the rep. The customers belong to the company, to the Prib.
I love it.
And so
now, you've actually said we're not allowed to talk to our customers. I know you jokingly said that, but that got me excited. I'm like, well, what do you mean I'm not allowed to talk to the customers? Please, Johnny, don't talk to the customers. Let the Prib do it.
Don't. Yeah. Why? Because you're gonna lie to them. I've heard people say, hey, listen, you know what? You know, you book on iBoomerang on the iGo site, and we're gonna upgrade you to first class when you fly. Where? The Prib will never say that. And it's just people who get overexcited and they use things to recruit when the truth is good enough. The Prib does it all. So we don't want you. No, we're not going to give you their phone numbers. No, let the company do the marketing to the to the customers. We know what it is, and they're going to book. If you look at the numbers, we're proving we know what we're doing.
Yeah, no joke. And you know what's crazy is hindsight, looking at Amazon, now I know what they did. Like, I didn't understand that they wanted us to order books because they know what we're reading. And if I know what you're reading, I know what you like, I know how you think, and I know what to sell you. I never thought about that until I joined iBoomerang and I understood your mindset of why you led with travel, why you're leading with a rideshare company. It's because if we know where you're going, we know what you like. Let us sell to the people based on the fact of us studying where they're going.
To get back to what you said, and I'll wrap this up because I know you have a couple other questions. Now, don't get distracted or what Tigre says, look at the squirrel by Vibe. Vibe, if you look at this right here, you'll see Vibe is our first vertical outside of iGo. All right, so we get the customers through iGo. We bring them into the Prib that way. That's the front door. And then now we're going to be building other verticals because that's what our market is. Now, if I said we're going to come out with a second Prib, that's like coming out with a second category. The Prib, by default, is a hub of multiple platforms. Remember I said we're in a multi-sided platform business and matchmaking? So we're matching. So the Prib is where the matchmaking takes place. Well, it's no different than a dating site. A dating site takes a person who wants maybe a guy who's looking for a girl who's looking for a guy, both of them are single. They go to the Prib. The Prib creates a nice environment for them to be able to exchange, to get to know each other. And next thing you know, they're hoping that they leave in a relationship or a date. That's success. Same thing we have. We're bringing our customers into the Prib. We're bringing rideshare into the Prib. We're hoping that our customers want a ride from the airport. We know they need one. We're hoping that they want one to the store or want one to the game or want one to the party or to the bar, and they find it within our iBoomerang Prib, and they leave there with the Vibe ride, and we're incentivizing them to do that. That's what we're doing. However, this is iBoomerang. Do not get focused on just Vibe. That would be dangerous. Why? Because rideshare is not easy to launch. It costs us more money to build the rideshare component than it does to build the entire iBoomerang. Being candid with you. This is not I think we should get in rideshare. Let's just add a car or two and it's easy. No, it's not. Okay. This is a beast. And so what we're doing is we've already made a few mistakes with Vibe. We've learned from it. We're entering world that nobody's ever done. So if you're expecting our company to be mistake-free, you should sit on the sidelines and maybe not bring any people yet. But we correct everyone that we say that we're going to correct. And so let us get Florida right. Okay. Here's what I'll tell you. We made a statement as to some other things that we're not going to open yet. because what we're doing is perfecting our system first. We're perfecting our foundation. And until we perfect our foundation, we won't launch the Boom Mobile. We won't launch these other verticals that we have. Right now, there's so much that we're going to do with our travel. We could actually have done iGo only with all the things we can do in travel and still be a major force. But we're going to do so much more with our travel. And then we've got our Vibe. And remember, Vibe is not just rideshare. Vibe is a matchmaking logistics company. So in the future, if you want food, we can do that. In the future, if you want parcel pickup or package delivery, if you want cleaners pickup, if you want hospital transportation, we've already got the foundation, and our app and our technology provides for that. So we are able to launch multiple sided platforms just within Vibe itself. That's why it was important to go ahead and start with Vibe now, because this is a fast growing segment, and the majority of our transactions on a daily basis are going to come through Vibe, and it's going to set the world on fire, specifically those who have the patience to understand I am here in the beginning. The book I'm reading right now, Matchmakers, I looked at Open Table, the concept of when they take people who want a dining experience and they match them up with restaurants who have open tables. You know, it took them 3 years. It took them 3 years to even get the restaurants. And I'm looking at what we're doing right now, and I'm not patting ourselves on the back, but I'm really excited, because when you read books, it tells you one of three things. It tells you either you need to start over, tear everything up and start over because you're doing it wrong, or it tells you, hey, listen, you don't know anything, so here's the direction that you go, or it tells you you're on the right track. And I'm pleasantly surprised that when I'm reading some of these books and talking to the professionals myself who are in industries that are much larger than what I've ever done, I'm finding confirmation that a lot of what we're doing, we're on the right track. We just got to get better at the things that we're actually good at.
I love it, man. I love everything about it. Just listening to you right now, it just reminds me of, the decision that I made personally is not only in my best interest, but truly my children's children. And I'm saying that for the first time with all certainty. So the blessing can also be seen and viewed as the curse if not careful. And I'm talking about ambassadors. And I love the fact that we're called ambassadors, because that's really what we're doing. We are the ambassadors to build the vision of what you're putting into place. So I got some fire shot questions from International, and I want to think about them too. My biggest frustration of the past. And, the company that I was a part of in the past, I was single responsible for their international initial growth. So I became the person who defended non-American markets more than I defended America markets. Because typically you'll have these countries that feel like they're stepchildren. So here's my question for you as a CEO and visionary of this company. What are we going to do to prevent, and it's a two-part question, what are we going to do to prevent the individuals who are watching right now from Europe, from Asia, Australia, Africa, South America, just all over the world? What are we going to do to make them feel like America is not your child and they're the stepchildren?
That's a great question, because we do know network marketing does have an emotional characteristic to it. Everybody in network marketing wants things now. Like I'm looking at one person says, we need Vibe rides now in Jamaica. But that, and I appreciate that energy, but that's where, as a distributor, we always have an emergency basis that everything has to happen right now. And it can't, and it won't. It won't happen right now. Some markets may not get something for quite some time. I don't know yet. We don't know. I look at Uber has been around 10 years. Do you know they're only in 700 cities?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fastest growing company in the history of the world, only operate in 700 cities. So we do have something that they don't have. They have a lot that we don't have. Yeah. But when it comes to international, you live on the globe. The globe is our business, not America.
Right.
So what I don't like is, some of us, we tend to think in these small bubbles, and our small bubble is based off of comfort zone. I'm comfortable in Italy because that's where I live. Well, I'm an Italian. Well, you're more than just an Italian. First of all, you're an ambassador. You're a human being. You're an ambassador. You live on this earth. We have a global business. So just because I live in Houston, I've done more meetings outside of the United States than I've done in the United States?
Me too.
Okay. So I do more conference calls in other countries than I do in the U.S. I don't look at, do we have some fast growing markets? Yeah, they just sent me our top markets. I'll give you these. Put yourself, our number one market right now is United States. Number 2, Mexico. Number 3, France. Number 4, Canada. Number 5, United Kingdom. So here's how you get our attention. Grow.
That's it.
Some distributors say, well, if you come and set everything up, we'll grow fast. That's like me looking at my fireplace saying, give me some fire and then I'll turn the gas on.
Right.
No. Put some wood over here and then we'll light the fire. Give me something to heat up. And so you grow. We're there. You and I, we just got through talking about, we're looking for a European tour that we're going to go do, right? We've been talking and said, hey, listen, I don't care where it's at. Right. It doesn't matter where we go. Our business is a global business. Here's the only place that we're probably not going to go. If your country does not have the internet yet, I'm not coming. If you have no internet and Wi-Fi, I'm not coming yet. But if you got Wi-Fi, you got internet, and you got a dream, and you go and build. But what I don't accept, and this is not to anybody in particular, I don't accept excuses. Because I know how we built. I know how I built. I built the largest income in network marketing with no product. We were in a product business. We're supposed to have coffee. I got started, put the company out of back order, and for the next 6 months, we had no product. We walked around and gave sachets to people and say, smell it. You can imagine how it's going to taste. Just smell the package. Everyone will tell you this. But because we didn't take any excuses. I had several people who quit and said, they don't have any product. They don't have their stuff. And by the way, we had 0 customer service for the first year and a half. None.
Wow.
That was the place I built my largest income. I'm the type of person, and it may not be you, and I'm not talking to you, Johnny, because I know this is you.
No, I love it.
I'm the type of person, I look for the problem. Give me the big problem to solve because I know a big payday is going to come. Don't give me a situation that's 100% perfect because now I got to stand in line with the other 6 million people who've already benefited, and I got to fight my way to the top. Go, if you're in a country, you go knock the doors down, you break some pins, get our attention. Guys, listen, I save money every time I travel. I'm coming to your city. We'll come. We will come. Yeah. So there are no stepchildren that are here and I boomerang. If you're an ambassador, you are an ambassador. And if you build it, we're coming. Abdi went diamond in France. Before he went diamond, you know what he did? T. Gray was showing me. He says, man, look, we got a guy over here who's really tearing things up. Hey, Abdi, I'm coming. I'm on my way over there. I had another guy, one of our guys, Tahid, who called me up one day and said, Bugs, listen, if I put X number of people in the market, would you come? I said, you know what? You sell X number of tickets and you get those tickets sold, then I'll be there. I'm not going to come on a promise. I'm going to come on a result. And I think it was either 800 tickets. That was back then. Requirements may be a little different now. Okay. And then I got with him.
You did it again. You blew my mind. First off, he said, in your previous company, you guys shut the company down from production because you guys sold it too fast and you didn't have any product to sell so for months you were going around saying, hey, smell this, it works.
That's it. I'm telling you.
I'm just wanting people to understand your mindset. Your mindset is, listen, we're coming without permission. We don't need your permission to come to your country. This is soldiers. Like, we're ground floor. Every time we start a new country, it's ground floor. It's ground floor in North America, but it's also ground floor everywhere else in the world. And it's not for everybody right now. I've had so many conversations with people who, the next question I'm going to ask you is about, are we going to have a customer support team in Europe? Will we have a phone center in Europe? There are people who want to know things like this, and it's a very fair and valid question. But the truth is, it may be too early for you. Like it's okay to watch us from a distance. It's okay. I got several people hiding in the binary. Nobody knows they're in. And that's okay. You jump out when you feel confident that you can be that pioneer. And if you're not the pioneer, trust me, we'll find them. So being this early, the good news is we're early. The bad news is we're early. Winners are going to be an iGo app, when people can pull up an app and book travel and not have to log on to the internet. They want to know this. They want to know, will there be a customer support, center in Europe? Will there be, translations of I Decide and all languages? We got 2 people in Zimbabwe. I'm sorry, they speak English, not a good example. But you get my point. When are you going to cater to us? And you got 10 people who are active. So historically, how do you handle this right now?
Right. The way I do it is this. I don't give people what they want. I give people what they deserve. And because that's how you build leadership. Because I know if I've got to do all of this first before you build, you'll always make me perform before you perform. And I don't put myself in that type of situation. We know that we're providing an environment and an opportunity that nobody's ever had that existed before. And so we want you, not from a seat of arrogance, you got to earn it. We're not going to put all of these resources in a place that, because it takes time. Are we going to have a customer service center in your country? What if we don't? Is that going to stop you from building it? But if we have what if I had customer service right here that was proficient in your language? Do you need them in your country? What are you going to do? You're going to go talk to them? Here's what's baffled me, honestly. And I'm not getting down on this, okay? But sometimes maybe this should be leadership call, and I should open it up to everybody because some people don't grab the leadership mentality. In my previous company as a distributor, I built a distributor business, okay? Millions of distributors. You know how many times I call customer service? I think once. You know why? Yeah, because the majority of the things that's required to make a big income can't be solved by a person who makes $15 an hour. So I'm not putting down our customer service people. That's not about that. But my upline, how can I solve a challenge that I have through using the chain of solution versus just calling customer service every time? That doesn't mean we're not having customer service. We just got through having a customer service planning session 3 days ago, okay, with someone that we bought to build our global customer service. Well, he speaks 8 languages. It's one of the reasons you met him. He has a law degree. He speaks 8 languages, self-taught, okay, and has built some of the best customer service centers all over the world. I said, that's who I want. So he's brought us into a new technology realm. We were going to do it the wrong way, the way that T. Gray and I were thinking about it. Brought him on. He changed our whole mindset. And then we said, you know what? We're in the share industry, whereas we don't have to be in one location. Why are we trying to retrofit our business to be what we're trying to get out of?
Wow.
Doesn't make sense to do it because everybody's used to, I got to go to the office. Well, when's the last time you've been to an Amazon office? Think about it. When is the last time you've been to Apple's office? Do you know does Apple have customer service in your city? The Samsung?
I have no idea.
So, guys, let's think bigger. Think of, I want my issue solved. Do I have to have the person here to solve it, or do you want it solved? Do you care that when you go on and to customer service, do you care that the person is up 4 o'clock in the morning and it's 4 o'clock p.m. your time, but they're 4 o'clock in the morning and they're somewhere else in another country solving your issue? Or do they have to live in your zip code? So you got to start thinking global, and how can you build these global businesses? We've got customers now in 186 countries. You think I'm going to put customer service centers in 186 countries? No, but we're going to solve the problem, and we're going to solve the right problems.
Wow, I love it.
Back to you.
I love it, man. Okay, so here we got 7 minutes, and I want to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you, man. And so 2020 vision, and not just in America, internationally. What can the international markets as well as America expect from you as a CEO and from iBoomerang as the opportunity for 2020? What don't we have now that we will have?
In terms of what we don't have now.
Like iGo apps, people can book with an app versus having to log in, like things like that. What's the vision of 2020?
The vision of 2020 is getting better at what we already have. I'm not going to sit here and promise apps. Apps don't build companies. Apps don't book more travel. They don't. Do they facilitate things and make it easier? Yeah, they do. But I can show you a dozen companies with apps that don't do the volume per quarter that we do per week. Not the app. Most people want gadgets. They want we're after substance. What we decided to do, just being real talk, I sent an email out to all the executives. Don't ask, don't bring, don't present a new opportunity to me for 2020. Let's perfect what we have. I'm not the bells and whistles guy. I don't care about all of these ornaments on the crib that work halfway. Okay, we're just not going to do it. And the more I talk to highly successful people, they get it. The more I talk to people who have not accomplished a lot, they say you need more. And so you have to ask yourself, whose ear of voice should you be listening to? And it's not that the ambassadors don't know what they're talking about. It's just you're probably not experienced enough to be in this seat. Do you know what comes with producing one language on the either side? Do you even know? Do you know the man hours? Do you know the time? Do you know the cost that comes along with just producing one? Some of you think, oh, they just go into use Google Translator, and no. Tens of thousands of dollars just for one. So we've done, I'm not saying that there won't be new things that we'll have. Here's what you're going to have. You'll have a new iBoomerang. This is what I'll promise you. We'll be better in 2020. The issues that we've had before, we don't have those issues. We had pay app issues in terms of getting people their commission. We don't have those issues anymore. We had issues of your not being able to log into your IDA site. We don't have those issues. We had, I can give you a zillion issues that we had. We don't have them, but we got new issues. Yeah. So what we're doing is solving those new issues, building our tech team, building our IT team, building our executive team, and now bringing in mid-level directors as we build the platform for our company so that we can be here for a very long time. I'm not here to load up this huge pile of responsibilities on a foundation that's not solid. Let us solidify the business. And we've got people, guys, we've got over, I think 15 people who've already made 100 grand, 15, 20 people who've already made 100 grand.
Wow.
With the system that was not even strongly fortified. You got enough. And so stop thinking that you need this or you need that whistle to go build. Have you sent an iDecide to everyone in your phone book yet? Well, when I get an app, I'll send an iDecide. that won't succeed in any company you go to. So that's what you're going to have in 2020. We're going to get better. We're going to get better at innovative thinking. We're going to get better at thinking outside the box, or just eliminating the box completely. We're going to get better at providing IGO services. We're going to get better at communication. We're going to get better at simple technology, so that our ambassadors don't have anything to do but log in, use their Priv, use the technology, and communicate with their prospects and send out boomerangs, and then we're going to go out and do the rest. Right now, some of them, like yourself, you have to worry about certain customer service issues. You've had to worry about, well, my cards are not accepted in this country, or credit cards are not accepted, or these particular things here. And we're getting better at all of those things. So that's what you're going to have. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but you're going to have a more solid company that you can depend on. And you're going to have a smarter CEO.
I love it. I love that. So I want you to ask me one question, two questions, whatever you want to ask me. But before you do that, I do want to say this. I want to say, listen, you guys, we are the ambassadors for iBoomerang. It is our job to level up as a leader based on what we're bringing to the table, not waiting for iBoomerang to bring it to the table. Many of my leaders are starting to translate their own stuff, but here's what I love. I can tell who's growing without permission, because they're not waiting for me to give them permission. They're not waiting for Holton. They're not waiting for iBoomerang. They're staying in the confinements of everything that we have built and put together in terms of, legal standards and things like that. But they're translating their own stuff because they really don't trust somebody else to translate it. That's a leader. So be the leader that you want to follow, and we'll see you on stage in Houston. Like, those individuals are the ones we're going to see on stage the third weekend of February in Houston, Texas, because you become the leader that you want to follow. So with all that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for being on this. I wanted to do this interview because I thought to myself, what would I want to see if I saw iBoomerang as a competitor? What would I want to know off the record? And I wouldn't even want anybody to know that I did the research. I would want to find an interview like this with the founder. And that's why I wanted to provide it, not to iBoomerang people. I wanted to provide this interview to the industry. Hopefully an owner is watching and saying, I need to step my game up. Because I love the industry of network marketing. I love multi-level marketing. I just happen to be an iBoomerang. I would love company owners to have a legendary mindset like you do, Holton. So ask me anything and we'll end this.
First of all, I want to, before I ask you something, I want to say this, and I told you this today privately. Thank you for being the presence in iBoomerang that's a different light, so that leaders can see. And you bring a whole different level of energy, a whole different level of what I call independence of thought process. And many of the leaders need to see that. I've been, shined so bright as a leader in the field that sometimes leaders, they're looking for you. They're looking for me, not necessarily just for that permission, but it's just, I've been the leader. Well, now my role is to develop those leaders and let those leaders raise up. And it's not about HB, and I think you give that permission for people to see that, wow, I don't have to wait. Edwin wrote a book called Permission to Succeed. And you exemplify that giving your own self permission. I never had to give it to you. I didn't say, hey, Johnny, let me do this interview. You call me up, you and Jex was on the call, and you say, hey, man, listen, I'm going Black Diamond. You put a video out in our chat. I loved it because I want people to see, here's how you become accountable. Here's how you get your upline to say, let me go help this person. Not, well, this is not working. Could you come do this for me? It was, so I appreciate you. But here's what I want to ask you. Here's a couple of questions I have for you. You've taken a lot of, you may not have taken it, but there's been a lot of negative chatter about your decision to be here at iBoomerang. And you were the hero. You were the great guy. You were like the gift to the company. As soon as your decision to do something different without damaging what you left was made, you became the enemy. And people start putting up videos and about why iBoomerang is going to fail. And right. If somebody ever puts up a video about why something else is going to fail and you watch it, you're a bigger loser than they are.
Yeah.
Because it's specific if you're watching it for entertainment. If you watch it because of a responsibility, that's different. But for entertainment, it's asinine to follow somebody's thought process like that. But how have you been through this process of negativity? How have you and the family been?
I haven't watched one video, anything negative, anything about anybody sends me. My response is, and somebody sent me something 48 hours ago, and it was, a video of why iBoomerang was going to fail. My response to them is, I don't have time to watch things like this. And the reason you're feeling the way you feel right now is because you watched it. So for me, and, I'm criticized on this too. I forgive them. I have literally forgiven them before they do it. I have forgiven anybody who has said anything negative about me. The lies that I've heard about me are now becoming comical because anybody who's been with me for any multiple set of years trace me back to one lie to make money. Why would I start now? So it has been free advertisement. Some of it has affected me a little bit, but then I look at the source of where it's coming from. These are millionaires that I helped create. All the way down to people who never even sponsored one person. Not one person that has criticized me has accomplished what I've accomplished. That is how I handle it. Now, if somebody who's accomplished more than me criticizes me, maybe I'll pay attention. But so far, including the owner, has never accomplished what I've accomplished as a distributor. Not even the director of training has accomplished what I've accomplished as a distributor. There's not one person that has criticized me publicly or my decision that has accomplished what I've accomplished as a distributor. That's how I handle it. I disqualify the noise until somebody brings the noise that has accomplished more than me.
Man, you know what? I don't have anything to add to it because my sentiments exactly, and you actually shared some stuff that I never thought about, but you're absolutely right. Because I want people to know how successful people handle adversity. And I've quoted you for years, and I always give you credit probably the first 3 times. And then after that, it became a friend of mine. He told me that adversity causes some people to break and others to break records. Are you a record breaker? It was one of your famous sayings that I always got. And so what I've noticed is that you've come over and broken records, but more importantly, I see a piece of happiness. Now, here's the thing. You're not back yet at your income that you left. Not yet. You're tracking it right now.
Right.
Tell me about your overall well-being of feeling. Has there been a nervousness, or what do you feel by not having that income and being here right now?
There are times where I thought about this today. Man, if I would have just waited 12 more days, I would have got $180,000 more dollars. Like, I thought about this. I was like, as an investor, not a network, how much money would I put into something to make $180,000 in 12 days? And I thought to myself, damn, why did I make that announcement on November 2nd? Why didn't I wait till November 16th? And those are like, those thoughts go into my brain and into my head. But that's pennies, man. It's, I have those thoughts, and those thoughts become pennies. Because what we're doing here, I've never made $1 million in 1 month in anything. You have. The people I was following over there, they never made $200,000 in 1 month as a distributor. I want to follow something that stretches me. And I'm not saying this to insult anyone, but you asked me a question, so I'm going to tell you my heart.
Yeah.
Being the smartest person in the room was terrifying. It was terrifying. And I'm not saying based on intelligence. I'm saying based on common sense of what people need and what they want and what we should provide. It seemed like I was the smartest person that realized what people deserved. And that terrified me, man.
I understand it, man. Here's the thing. I don't make as much income now as I made when I was in my previous company. Since I've launched this, the claim is that the money's not there to pay my commissions. And you saw my back office; it's still hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. But I wasn't counting on it, but the good thing is you nor myself spent all of our money. And that's why we talk about having a good philosophy of being able to get out of debt. But what I can tell, and this, I'll say this with respect to Jex as well, and you and myself, Edwin and Jose Luis and several of the leaders and Cesar Munoz. I'll say this, guys, and this is the truth. We've never been happier.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we've never been happier. My personal, because I don't take a salary from the company yet. I don't need a salary. I got enough money I don't need a salary. I'm investing all of it back into the company and to make this deal huge and big. But I probably make, obviously a whole lot less, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars less per month than I used to make. I've never been this happy before. And so this is when I tell people say, well, money don't make you happy. And I say, well, you don't know until you get some money. Or you can say that somebody told you money don't make you happy. Get you some money, get wealthy, get enough money where you can take care of a lot of people outside of yourself, and then you'll be able to determine whether or not that's what's made you happy. Because when you don't have that amount of money anymore, or you don't earn that type of money anymore, you start to be able to relate to what's really important to you. And so, I don't want to paint this picture that, okay, HB is starving because we don't have that income. No, I'm not, it is what it is, but I'm so glad we've done well with other investments and stuff like that we've done. So last question I have for you, the next question I have for you is, what did you do to get to work? And I want you to talk about the little guy here, because a lot of this has been leadership that we've talked about. I got two questions. A lot of this has been leadership level stuff, and the little guy still out there who, even though we cover some of the stuff, they can't grasp it on this level yet because they just don't know. But from the little guy in the organization, what do you see that the little guy should be doing? When I say the little guy, the person who's first time in networking, maybe they're a director looking to go to senior director or executive, whatever it may be. They haven't even sent out their first boomerang yet. What is it that you see that they should do to make this a success for them?
I've been in the travel space for 12 years. And here's something that I have taught the new person and the person who's been here for a long time. You have to be a product of your product. The faster you create your own personal testimony, that's where your longevity of success is going to come from in terms of recruiting and building. I booked my first I Go And I showed you, Holton, I saved $1,200 when we stayed in the hotel in New York. $1,200 savings on my very first booking. I will tell that story, hopefully for the next several decades before I pass this on to my kids. Your initial story of your personal success is your longevity. Stop telling the big stories. Stop. You want to make money in this business? Stop telling the big stories to recruit. You tell the everyday stories. You get people who join today who have a success story in their first 7 days. That story is way more powerful than Edward Haynes making $1 million his first several months. That's too unbelievable. It scares people. My personality type, it would excite me, but everybody's not my personality type. Everybody on the planet's personality type is, if I buy this, how fast can I turn it into a win-win situation? If you truly want to build, focus on creating win-win situations. Have you created a win-win situation for you? You spent $1,000 to become first class. You saved $1,000 your first 30 days because you booked something twice. Whatever it is, that's a win-win situation. You became a first class. You brought in 6 people who are first class as personals your first 30 days. That is a win-win situation. So create a win-win situation as fast as possible and teach people to do that again and again and again. Stop telling the Thomas story. Stop telling the Johnny Wimbrey story. Just get away from the big stories and tell the stories of this lady didn't even know my name 30 days ago. And here's what's happening for her today. That story right there will make you more money than the big stories. Create the right now win-win situations. If they come in business class, they spend $500. Help them create a win-win situation. That's what I'm doing. I help people create a win-win situation, and then I celebrate them. We celebrate them in our chat groups. We celebrate them in our Facebook groups. We celebrate them visibly so the world can see, the other new reps can see, this person joined 7 days ago and we're already celebrating them. That's right now money. Nobody cares about a year ago money. Nobody cares about the guy who's making $100,000 a month. They want to know who has a win-win situation in the last 30 days. That's where your big money is.
You know what? That is what you just said, a mouthful, and I hope so many people gain from this. I hope they didn't log off too soon. Some people may have had to go to church or whatever it is, but I think the most valuable part of this call, honestly, hasn't been my testimony and story. It's been what you just got through saying, because everybody's trying to make a quantum leap when the way we got there is by making base hits. And the person who wins the World Series is not the one who makes the most home runs. It's the one who gets the most base hits. If you go back and look at baseball stats, whoever gets the most base hits wins the most games. And I watch, you've allowed me into the group, and I see these posts, and I'm like, man, they celebrate a person who even joined. They haven't even done anything, but you are a winner. What? You joined iBoomerang, coach. You joined iBoomerang business class or first class, and they got their picture up. And everybody's commenting, and I'm like, how would I feel? I'm brand new to network marketing. I don't know anything, and these people are celebrating that my win. Wow, what did I win? You made a decision to take care of your future, and we're going to celebrate it. I can tell you right now, there's groups out there right now. If they only focused on that, mm-hmm. their groups would be twice as large.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you gotta, I was gonna say, learning to celebrate people for every step, it creates ongoing. I wake up to 100 posts in my Facebook group of people who've been celebrated. Now, one thing that we have done that I believe that everybody should do in iBoomerang, we celebrate upgrades just as much as we celebrate ranks. Somebody who came in as a coach class and they upgrade to business, I'm going to celebrate that. Why? Because that person just made a commitment to go deeper. That's how I know who my leaders are going to be. It's Sunday. Is today Sunday? Yeah, today's Sunday. Guess what we call Sundays? It's Upgrade Sunday. So if you go to my team page on Facebook, or most of the team pages on Facebook, you're going to see that we are celebrating people today who upgraded this week.
See, it's the small things, guys. It's not his speaking ability, because he hadn't spoken to anybody to get him to join. He just hit a button and let the technology go. He can go and speak, but the problem with that, tell me what the problem is, Johnny, with when you show up into the living room in the den as Johnny Wimbrey and you get everybody in this daze because you've trained to do it, and everybody signs up. What problem do you create, and why haven't you done that yet?
If you want me to come to your home to do a presentation, and you need me. You need me. You could be creating a major problem for your future because you can't duplicate me. So I'm not doing you a service if I'm always making myself accessible to you, because number one, you're not growing. Number two, you really can't. And I'm not saying it in an arrogant way. I'm a professional speaker. Like, this is what I've done it around the world for over 20 years. So people are going to say, well, when's that Johnny guy coming back? Well, I got a real big person I want to invite, but when's Johnny coming back? When's Holton coming back? When's Luis coming back? When's Fernanda coming back? You are building almost like a dam of your business. You got all this water on this side that can't break loose because you're waiting for this person to come back, and you created it. So when I say that I'm not coming to do a presentation or build it a little bit stronger, harder, I'll come when it's time, I'm doing that for you, not for me. Holton, we've been doing this. It's over 2 hours right now, and we still have over 1,500 people live. If I do Facebook and Zoom, I'm looking at both right now, they're both at about 750.
No, but you're not counting the line that's maxed out on the Spanish line.
Oh yeah, there were international lines being translated.
Yeah,
these people are hungry.
So they are hungry, because I mean, yeah, we know television is going to be on today. People, some people, oh, it's too long. How long is too long to secure your future?
40 years working for somebody else, 40 hours a week. That's long.
Yeah. And that's why I thought about it. I couldn't cut it off for the sake of time, but you're dropping wisdom. We've kind of flipped the script there. You're interviewing me, but I love what's happening now. I just got a couple other questions for you. And that is, from the standpoint of the brand new person who says they want to really be there and build their belief around the business. How important is Accelerate? And I want you to talk about wanting to grow into a leader. What should your actions be when you say, I now want to learn how to be a leader? And then a person on here who is the leader. Who's a leader? Somebody who's sponsored one or two people already, and then somebody who is in the mid stage of leadership development, and then the top leaders. How important is Accelerate, and what should your actions be?
Sure.
At each stage of leadership?
I create a culture. If you say what I'm really good at in terms of building is creating culture. I would say I'm better at creating culture than I am at personally sponsoring people. I'm probably better at creating culture than I am of even building leaders, because culture is everything. We don't miss events. Like, that's a conversation that never happens with my leaders. Are you going to be in Houston for Accelerate? Like, nobody asked me that question. I don't ask my leaders that question. Why? It's almost mandatory in our culture. Here's what I will tell you. There will be people on stage at Accelerate in Houston, Texas in February that are not. They don't even know how to spell iBoomerang right now. They don't even know that iBoomerang exists. Like while you're listening to me right now in January 2020, our event is the end of next month, the third weekend of February. There will be people, mark my words, that will be there from Africa that are not members of iBoomerang today as you're watching this. There will be people who walk the stage as sapphires for the first time in iBoomerang, and they're not in yet. They'll walk the stage in Houston. That drives me, Holton. That scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me that if I'm not there, somebody's still going to have increase. That's how Johnny thinks. Johnny, like, you really want to know what keeps me going? If you really want to know what drives me, is the fact that if I don't do it, Luis will. If I don't do it, Cesar will. If I don't do it, Annie will. Like, I don't even understand. I don't even know how to articulate that. And what goes on in my brain of why I don't miss anything. Because for those of you who have not booked Accelerate right now, somebody in Israel will book it tomorrow. Somebody in the Czech Republic will book Accelerate tomorrow. They got to get visas. They got to get permission to leave their country. And there are people who are in Houston that haven't booked yet. If you really want to create some madness, book, take a screenshot of your booking and post it in your team pages, and then post it on your personal pages, on your personal social media campaigns, and say, Accelerate 2020, Houston, Texas. I'll see you in February. Watch what happens. You got to be the leader that you want to follow. Give your people something to follow. If they haven't booked Accelerate, it's because they don't know that you did. I booked it this week. You see what I did when I booked it? Go look at my Instagram at Wimbrey. Go look at my personal Facebook page. Go look at my team pages. I literally took a screenshot and I posted it. Why? I know the importance of giving people something to follow. And to wrap that question up, if you're not on stage at Accelerate, walking as director, executive director, senior director, ruby, emerald, diamond, and beyond, or a sapphire, or whatever it is, if you're not there, somebody will be there walking that's not even in iBoomerang right now. That scares the hell out of me.
Last question I have, and then we'll wrap it up. And that is, you're kind of on that pace anyway. How important is it to make sure from where a person is now, and in terms of the progression of rank or advancement towards their rank or even volume by the time Accelerate gets here? If you've been a Sapphire, for 4 months already, how should you be thinking? So I want you to talk about that even to the small guys as well, because guys, remember, big shots are nothing but little shots who just kept on shooting. And so don't look at yourself and say, well, I'm a little guy, he's a big guy. There was once upon a time that Johnny, what was your first check in network marketing? You remember your very first week?
Oh man, it was the best day of my life because I knew it was real. I think it was $230 something.
So they don't always have these big incomes starting off. So talk to us about that, wrap it up, and take us home.
I'll talk about me. I've been Blue Diamond, I think, since November, maybe even before November. I think I hit it in October. That drives me crazy. Like, it literally drives me nuts. If you have been Sapphire for 3 months in a row, it should drive you nuts. Here's why. The leverage of the volume that you had the previous month is almost your catapult to the next rank of the next month. And the only reason or way that you wouldn't do it you slow down and celebrate it too long.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you hit a same rank 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a row, that's evidence that you're only there because you want to be. Like, you could not convince me that you couldn't advance and rank in 3 or 4 months. And the only evidence that I have is because you've accomplished a serious rank and you stayed there. So, and this is how Johnny talks to Johnny. So this may be too hard for most people, but this is how Johnny talks to Johnny. I'm not okay with not advancing. You just have to give yourself permission. And Holton, and I'm sure you know this, but we don't talk about this. Some people are afraid to pass up their upline. Like, we really don't talk about this, but a high-level leadership training, it's true. I give everybody in my organization permission to pass me up. If you're waiting for my permission, why? I have 72 personal ambassadors, and my goal is to be at 100 ambassadors by January 31st. And I know that that's the answer to go Black Diamond. So listen to me. If you have the problem of being Sapphire for 3 months in a row, your answer is 20 new personals. It's always 20. Here's what's crazy. 20 to 30 new personals is the answer to anybody's problem, even Ed Haynes. Edwin Haynes' problem right now is 20 to 30 new personals. Johnny Wimbrey's problem right now, the answer is always 20 to 30 new personals. Is it hard? Wah. Yes, it is hard. But is it worth it? Absolutely. You have the answer to your problem. Participate.
You're right, because, I remember us talking years ago. We should always say that the team that helped you get to Sapphire won't be there and won't be the same team that helped you go Ruby. And I see, and I just wanted to comment on this. I see certain people, they exist. And I'm talking, I want you to address this because maybe my voice is probably kind of drowned out to them. They exist. And what I mean by that is that they focus on the same group of people that they've had in their organization for so long to hit rank. And that's not the way that you do it. I want you to talk. Have you seen that before? People who they huddle around the same people. They try to save their way to Blue Diamond or save their way to Emerald or saving people.
That's a good way.
Address that, and then we're gonna let everybody go. They can't handle more than 2.5 hours of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, what you just said is 100% true. We will spend 80% of our energy saving and working with old people, and 20% of our energy looking for new people. Michael Jex is Diamond. I expect him to go Blue Diamond. He's not going to go Blue Diamond with the existing team that he has. I am not going to go Black Diamond with the existing team that I have. Now, can they take me there? Yeah, but I got to wait on them. I don't wait for my team to push me up in rank. I don't even put that kind of responsibility or pressure on them. I put pressure on Johnny Wimbrey to push rank. The reason I'm doing this call right now, the reason I wanted to do it, is because this is part of the ingredients to push my rank, which means it's part of the ingredients to push your rank. So I'm not selfishly looking for rank by myself. I'm showing you what I do. And I'm telling you publicly.
Hold on. So let me ask, so when you're saying you're taking responsibility on this, I have to say this because I hope that we have a lot of people watching. You were in this company as a Blue Diamond in December, right?
Yeah.
You were here. You went through surgery, right?
I had surgery.
Okay.
Major
A
surgery.
serious surgery.
Very serious.
Okay. Haven't been able to go out and can't be around a lot of people because of,
I'm very nervous
Now,
to be around people.
okay. So, and this is spinal surgery. I know you don't mind me mentioning that, right? Spinal surgery.
Through my neck, back to my spine.
Okay. Now, you had spinal surgery. You still qualified your pen, missed Black Diamond by a margin. And last month, we had a small issue of credit cards being processed in the U.S. from another merchant.
Mm-hmm.
We had maybe some customer service issues. Was that the big topic in your group? Did that stop you from going Black Diamond?
What?
I'm just saying those issues were those.
No.
Is that the reason?
No. I had surgery, but that would be an excuse if I say that's why I didn't go Black Diamond. I'm just being honest with you. I know how to push people. I know how to push myself. The reason I'm not Black Diamond is my fault. It's not the surgery. It's 100% me.
But was it not the credit card processing? And then I know your group had a technical glitch where they couldn't reset their passwords for a while. That's not the reason?
No.
You sure?
No. Whatever you focus on expands. If I focus on the reasons, then it's no longer me. I want to expand, not the reasons.
Oh, okay. So I honestly thought it was okay. Well, you couldn't process a credit card and you couldn't find this and in your back office or whatever it is, and you couldn't see your people's organizational volume and who's active and who wasn't. That didn't stop you from going?
No. Listen.
So did you have a lot of conversation about that in your group?
I have conversations. I put fires out very quickly. But, there are legitimate situations that are going on technology-wise because, again, we're still figuring this out. We're still climbing. Right. We're still on the climb. So, but I put that up. I know that's part of the equation. I'm going to go Black Diamond with your excuses. Everybody who has an excuse right now, I'm going to go Black Diamond while you're making excuses. There are people that are going to go Sapphire in the next 48 hours while you are having excuses. You can't have excuses and pop ranks at the same time. You got to pick which one you want. Either have the excuses or pop a rank. One of them you have to let go of. And you're in control of which one you let go of.
Enough said. Can't give him too much more, man. Love you, bro.
Love you, man.
This has been awesome. This will live on the internet forever. History's already in the making with this. I celebrate you, celebrate what you stand for, and I appreciate you coming in. And I'll tell everybody this. Johnny's come in and said, tell me how to be a benefit and an asset to the entire company and to each team. And you tell me whatever I need to do, I'll do it. And he's never come in saying, shine the light, shine the focus on me. Every time he's come, he's always saying, here's something I think that can benefit all of our leaders. He shares in our diamond group. He's not selfish. When something comes up, he thinks of, he shares it with everybody. And that's why you're successful. And we appreciate that. We appreciate each and every one of you who's out there as well. I'm actually ending this interview like I started. He's actually one who called me to be interviewed. But I appreciate you, man. And let's go out here and get Black Diamond. But I'll tell you this, guys. Here's these things is how you get your upline. I can tell you right now, Ed Haynes, myself, the company is like, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that Black Diamond gets done? That we remove the obstacles so that you can go ahead and run for Black Diamond. This is how you get your support of your upline is make a decision. I'm going to do it without. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
And you'll find that the company moves mountains for you. It's just you just want a person to win. It's not about you going Black Diamond. I want that person who's a director to go Sapphire. That's really what I want. That's the story that I want. So with that, I appreciate you. I'll give it back to you. You got the last words, and I'm out. Don't bring it back to me. You start the interview, and I'll let you finish it.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Holton, Bugs, one of my best friends on the planet for the last 19 years. I started this industry on February the 11th of the year 2000. On February the 11th of 2020, that will be 20 years. And I still feel like I'm a baby of the industry. I do feel like I'm a senior voice for the industry on a global scale, but being under your leadership and under your wisdom. I've watched you from afar. I've learned from you, face to face. We've learned from each other, but to be under your leadership, I cannot tell you how much of a relief. I'm breathing different. Like literally, I breathe different today than I did last year, because I know what I'm building, my children's children truly will benefit from. And I trust you. And I know for a fact, even if we weren't best friends, you're going to take care of anybody. So I know you'll take care of me and my family. And for me, that helps me breathe better. If you're watching this for the first time and you made it all the way to the end, this is something you're going to want to work out to. When you're driving from city to city, to state, and you are doing, taking the train from London to Birmingham or anywhere in the world, you want to listen to this as many times as you can. If you know people who are in other network marketing companies who can't figure out why it's not working, send them this video, not to recruit them, just so they can understand why it's not working for them. It could be something that's greater than them that's holding them down. That's where I found myself. And now having access to the video like this is something that you can use forever, not to learn the facts about iBoomerang, to learn the heartbeat of iBoomerang. You can follow facts all you want to. I will follow the heartbeat. iBoomerang is the heartbeat that I want to follow. And I'm glad I'm following it. In this video, anybody with common sense, anybody with a pulse who watches this video and says something negative after the video, you would have to be creative. The Bible says in the end times, we will invent ways to sin. You would have to invent ways to say something negative about this video. And if you invent a way to talk negative about this conversation, I would make that equivalent to what the Bible was talking about in Revelations when they said people will invent ways to sin. I love you, brother. I appreciate you. This is something you're going to want to watch again and again and again. You may be in iBoomerang, but after you watch this video, iBoomerang is inside you. Boom. Love you all. Boom. Take screenshots. Holton, do me 1 second. Put your boom up. Everybody take screenshots. I want to see it in your social media pages. Tag us. Tag us all over the world. Tag us how exciting this was, how great it was for you, whatever. But I want you to tag this, put it in the air. We will make this available. It's on iBoom, Facebook. You can go rewatch it immediately. And I'll do some edited versions, and we'll get it out in the air. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Europe, here we come. Europe, here we come.
Europe tour is going to be real. The boom is real. God bless you guys.
Later.